The start of every Six Nations tournament is normally met with the same word that centers around the Celtic nations. Hate. Ireland, Scotland and Wales love to hate England, be it on a sporting platform, a friendly fan rivalry, or a much deeper feeling that lies within what is ingrained in the history of the British Isles. But when every single England rugby player is asked whether they hate the Irish, Scottish or Welsh, the answer is almost always a firm no. Not even a joke, or an ill-advised quip. The feeling just isn't there. On Saturday, James Haskell will win his 76th Test cap for England. A remarkable achievement for a player who has not taken the easy route throughout his career. He's seen his fair share of battles with England's neighbouring countries. The encounter with Ireland will be his 31st against one of the aforementioned teams, and he has experienced both the highs and lows that has come against them. The 2011 Grand Slam failure against Ireland. The 2016 redemption victory over Wales. France vs England player ratings. 30 show all France vs England player ratings. 1/30 France. Hugo Bonneville 6 out of 10 took a nasty-looking whack from an accidental collision with Johnny May that forced him off the field for a head injury assessment. And although he returned to the action, he failed to come out of the changing rooms at halftime. Getty. 2/30 Benjamin Fall 7 out of 10 dangerous both on the wing and at fullback when he was required to cover for the injured Bonneville. A surging break into the England 22 before halftime drew a penalty for an Itoje high tackle that led to 3 points. Getty. 3/30 Mathieu Bastareaud 8 out of 10 another brilliant display as he led the French defensive effort with 2 crucial tackles and turnovers. A real powerhouse who stood up well against the more mobile Benteo. And his celebrations at the full-time whistle were brilliant to see, turning into the international player we all expected. Getty. 4/30 Jeffrey Domergue 7 out of 10 a strong showing as he rushed up on Ford and Farrell's limit the chances the playmaking duo were able to conjure. Getty. 5/30 Remy Grosso 8 out of 10 his powerful running causes England a lot of problems, particularly when he cut in field to search for the ball. 2 good runs out wide brought good yards, and he contested for the high ball that led to the important penalty try. Getty. 6/30 Francois Trinduc 7 out of 10 it was his crossfield bomb that put May and Watson under pressure and led to the match-defining moment. He played well on his return to the starting 15, and deserves another run out next weekend. Getty. 7/30 Maxime Mackin 8 out of 10 a very controlled and mature performance from the scrum half who ended with a personal haul of 12 points from 5 penalties and nearly bagged himself a try had he not slipped diving for the line. Getty. 8/30 Jefferson Poirot 7 out of 10 the stronger of the 2 French props and more than met his match against Dan Cole, carried well and was a physical presence in the defensive line, and he repeatedly met England's biggest carriers. Getty. 9/30 Guilhem Girardot 8 out of 10 the talisman of French rugby who set the tone with his defensive showing, but also his ball carrying. One eye-catching break in the second half produced the match-defining moment as the penalty try came from the resulting play. Left the field shortly after the hour mark to a standing ovation from the home fans and probably some in white too. Getty. 10/30 Rob Slimani 5 out of 10 France's weak point. Strangely, as he was penalized no fewer than 3 times in the scrum as Mako Vunipola dominated him. Ineffective in the loose 2 and hauled off before the hour mark. Getty. 11/30 Paul Gabriog 6 out of 10 struggled in the set piece as England's lineout clicked throughout the match. Much more prevalent in the loose though as he carried strongly. Getty. 12/30 Sebastian Vaha Mahina 5 out of 10 run ragged by Itoje in the lineout and also came off second best against the England lock in the loose as he was beaten in the physical battle. Gave away a needless penalty for shoving Anthony Watson in the face. Getty. 13/30 Wenceslas Lort 7 out of 10 did a lot of the unseen work in the ruck to disrupt English ball, allowing Kamara and Bastareaud to take the plaudits for grabbing turnover after turnover. Getty. 14/30 Yakub Kamara 8 out of 10 along with Giroud. He was France's best forward. Didn't do much wrong, and even when he did by clearly killing the ball after taking a charging run from Itoje, he got away with it. A brilliant tackler who also showed his talent with the ball. Getty. 15/30 Marco Talani 7 out of 10 An early chance to stretch his legs went unrewarded as Jaco Piper called play back for a forward pass, but he ate up the yards in front of him when he was given a second chance midway through the first half. Carried very well throughout, but also made an impact off the ball. Getty. 16/30 England. Anthony Watson 6 out of 10 will feel he was unlucky to receive a yellow card for what was initially a try-saving tackle on fall, but when the high shot was on his own line it was a warranted punishment. Tried to inject some pace from the back but given little space to work with by France's mobile forwards. Getty. 17/30 Johnny May 6 out of 10 on hand to finish England's try late in the game and had a couple of other chances to show off his pace, although on one occasion that ended with a shuddering hit from McEnroe. Getty. 18/30 Benteyo 6 out of 10 tried to find an edge to work with but was unable to get away from Domeru and Bastareaud. His offloading game was kept quiet, and he was always half a stride away from breaking the line. His defense stood firm, but as he attests 13. Getty. 19/30 Owen Farrell 7 out of 10 scored 11 of England's points and created the score for May with a nice flat pass that the Wasps wingtip back inside. And some of his touch finding was excellent, particularly the 3 penalty kicks to touch on the French 5 meters. Still questions about how he and Ford are working this year. Getty. 20/30 Elliot Daly 7 out of 10 His first game back from injury can probably go down as a success, but it also exposed the fact that England are hiding one of their best threats out wide. He had one excellent surge into the French half, and his pass inside for May's try was world-class. Also reminded everyone of his long-range kicking ability with a 53 meters penalty. Getty. 21/30 George Ford 6 out of 10 struggled to cope with the pressure that came his way from the French defensive line, and wasn't given much protection from his runners away from the first phase. Taken off when England needed a plan B, which has often been Jones' get-out clause. 22/30 Danny Kerr 6 out of 10 loose box kicking from the base of the ruck, and again his running ability was nullified by the defense. Should be genuine questions about whether he is suited to England's approach when starting as opposed to finishing matches. Getty. 23/30 Mako Vunipola 8 out of 10 brilliant against a world-class operator in Slimani and won his side 3 penalties, one of which brought 3 points and 2 others that relieved the pressure on his side. Took on a huge amount of the carrying workload too. Getty. 24/30 Jamie George 6 out of 10 His line-out throwing was strong as he filled the vacant shoes of the England captain, with Dylan Hartley sidelined through a calf injury. Didn't over an awful lot carrying though, as was not at his best. Getty. 25/30 Stan Cole 5 out of 10 His battle with Poirot remained fairly even throughout the match, but guilty of ill-discipline, again, when he was penalized on his own try line for not rolling away. It led to 3 points that got France back on level terms. Getty. 26/30 Joe Launchbury 5 out of 10 tried to carry well but was offered little support. But in the grand scheme of things it was one of his more quiet performances, and that was reflected in his early withdrawal before the hour mark. Getty. 27/30 Maro Itoje 6 out of 10 looked a bit more like the imposing figure that England need right now as he tried to intimidate Kamara and also protected his teammates. Ran the line out exceptionally well, but is not back to his best yet. Getty. 28/30 Courtney Law's 5 out of 10 one good carry in the second half resulted in the try and also in him being bent painfully backwards by the French defense. Looked to pick up a knock in that incident that left him shaken for the remaining 5 minutes. Getty. 29/30 Chris Robshaw 6 out of 10 His work rate was up there as ever, but he was a yard of the pace today as Piper penalized him on more than one occasion, causing England to lose a lot of their own ball. Getty. 30/30 Nathan Hughes 5 out of 10 The heavy strapping to his left knee suggested that all is not well with his previous injury, and it came back to haunt him when a clear-out resulted in a French defender landing awkwardly on his leg and bending his knee the wrong way. Getty. The flanker is not short of an opinion or two. That much has been made obvious throughout his career, and when asked why teams seem to enjoy hating the English on the rugby stage, the 32-year-old had a clear explanation for it. That's what happens when you used to run the world, isn't it? Said Haskell. It's down to empire building. It got done a long time ago. I was nothing to do with it. I never once got in my boat and said, right, you're part of Great Britain. I can't be held responsible for it. I try to approach my life in sport with passion, intensity and a desire to come out on top and win. I don't hate anyone. There are people I dislike, but I don't have that. When you're playing for England, you want to stay involved. You want to win at all costs, and you want to win, and those are motivating factors enough. The emotion of having to throw your head at someone's knees and fire in takes it up. That might spill over a bit or whatever. It's an easy motivation factor for other sides because of the long, entrenched history. It's very difficult for us to say that. If you know your history, we are partly to blame. Eddie Jones apologizes for comments on Ireland and Wales. His return to the starting lineup this weekend is, in essence, designed to give England something to fight back with in the defeats against Scotland and France. Eddie Jones' side have lacked breakdown prowess, front football and gain-line success. Haskell is brought in to do all three of those, and after making a good impression when he came on in Paris, he is given another chance to impress. That has been the story of Haskell's England career. Many times he has been written off too old, too big, too slow, too much of a liability, and each time he has bounced back. It's a great example of resilience, a great example of keeping at the task at hand and not to dropping your head. Eddie Jones said after naming the Wasps back row at open-side flanker, adding that he has been rewarded for his persistence and resilience. Haskell makes his first start for England in a year. Getty. Haskell has history with Ireland, too. He has faced the Emerald Isle in 8 Six Nations matches, starting 7, and been twice against them. He played in that dispiriting defeat last year that ended England's era of invincibility, as well as the 2011 Grand Slam denying defeat under Martin Johnson's reign. Emotion normally plays a huge role in games between the two sides, and for more than one reason. As Haskell notes, they always put it on St. Patrick's Day when you are playing Ireland, don't they? He adds, that's why the place is always jumping. It is hard. The Twickenham crowd are great. There will be 82,000 people there. It is going to be very passionate. Crowds always have a role to play in anything they do. A. To motivate the lads, and B. To make a hostile environment. Wherever we go, it is a hostile environment. You always expect to have a hostile environment. Haskell hopes the Twickenham factor will spur England on to victory. Getty. He added, I don't want to burst any bubbles here. There is the comfort of being at home on your territory, where you know the crowd will be on your side for the most part, but because we travel all the time, it doesn't really matter where we are playing or what the records are. It comes down to trying to play your game and beat the opposition and then come away with a win.